Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back. Today I am finally here with Raiden Shogun. This has been forever in the making. I'm really excited to do this now. Today, due to her recent banner, even though it's about to end, right now of filming, it only has 3 days and 13 hours, but this means I can still get it out before her banner goes away. So basically, this is just going to be a guide, some fun teams, her best artifacts, best weapons, and I'm just going to try to break everything down for you guys, because she is quite a complex character, but I'm glad I did my research because I want to share the knowledge that I got from doing that with you. First, let's go into her kit. Basically, Enlightened One is one of the most important things about her entire kit. Each 1% above 100% energy recharge that the Raiden Shogun possesses grants her 0.6 greater energy restoration from Muso Ishin and 0.4% electro damage bonus. This makes you want to build her with as much energy recharge as possible. This is why she needs an energy recharge sands and an attack goblet, but we'll get into that later. This is her elemental skill. Basically, she summons an eye and a ring around your active character, and every time your active character uses a burst or something along those lines, the wheel will be granted a little bit more resolve stacks. And these resolve stacks are great because they increase Raiden Shogun's damage by a lot for her burst. But other than that, this attacks for 25 seconds and it procs about every 0.9 seconds, so it's quite useful. But I'd say her burst is still more useful. You know, the normal attack is just a normal attack. It doesn't help the scaling of her burst at all, so I don't recommend wasting your books on it unless you want her to be a completely on field all the time, literally no one else, but I don't recommend that. So her burst is where her most utility comes in, period. Her burst makes her arguably one of the strongest DPSs in the game. The multipliers are quite nice, but it's the initial one that hits for a ton. Like in Abyss, I've hit like 250 Ks with her, just casually. So basically it takes those resolve stacks and it like eats them up, yum 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 yum, and then it gives you a damage boost based on your resolve stacks. So this is really why you want to try to be doing like skills and generating energy recharge particles every chance you get. And her last one is just more expended while ascending swords and polearms is decreased by 50%, which is honestly quite nice because I play with a lot of sword and polearm characters, and I'm pretty sure Scaramouche has one similar to this, but I could be wrong. So now that we know about her kit, let's talk artifacts. Basically, in 9 out of 10 situations, you're going to want 4-piece Emblem of Severed Fate because the 2-piece gives extra energy recharge because, you know, she loves the energy recharge, and the 4-piece increases elemental burst damage by 25% of energy recharge. So this is increasing her burst even more, especially with the energy recharge over 100 electro damage boost. And so I just want to show you what that looks like real quick. Right now, my Raiden has 68.4%, and you'll see why it's so low, or why you think it's so low. But 271 energy recharge. She wants to be 200 plus energy recharge, you know, for obvious reasons. Her crit rate and crit damage aren't the best, but it's hard to build when you're building around energy recharge. So of course the flower, it's just HP. You can't get anything else. Try your best. My flower was pretty nice. Same thing with the feather. It's just going to be flat attack. This feather rolled really well. I'm really happy with how it rolled. So sands. You're going to want an energy recharge sand no matter what, except one circumstance, but I'll talk about that afterwards. It gives her the most utility, it's the best for her, and of course the substats you're gonna want is of course crit rate and crit damage, and then attack percent, just because without having an attack sands, she's not getting that much attack, which is why she needs to have an attack percent goblet. And usually attack percent goblets are the least useful thing ever, except for of course like buffers like Shenhe. But for her, it's almost a necessity because eventually the electro damage bonus will be too much. Like with my current build, she'd have over 100, and it would be a lot worse than having an attack sand because she doesn't completely scale off of energy recharge. She's only boosted by it, so she still needs her attack. So yeah, an attack sand. Finally, so most of the time you're gonna have like an energy recharge weapon or something, so you're gonna need a crit rate circlet. And this one, it didn't roll the best, as you see the 19% defense, but you know, I'll take what I can get. A win is a win. So the only circumstance you'd want anything different is if you wanted to run a Quicken team, Aggravate, or really Hyperbloom with your Raiden Shogun, because pairing her with Nahida, you know, go figure, they're both Archons, but pairing them together can be detrimental to everyone's health. Everyone's. The monsters, the baddies, just everything. So in that circumstance, you could throw her in the Deepwood memory set 4-piece, because then as her skill would be proccing, she'd be constantly lowering the Gendro res. But if not, I would highly recommend the Gilded Dreams. Just because, you know, it gives a lot of damage bonus for the person doing the elemental reactions. So in this circumstance, you know, the Flower and Feather would stay the same, but for the timepiece, she'd want an Elemental Mastery timepiece, just because, you know, Elemental Mastery really helps. She would want either an attack percent goblet or an electro damage goblet, depending on where your electro damage is from your energy recharge. But, you know, it's one of those things. If it's low, slap on an electro damage goblet. If not, then throw on attack. And finally, depending on what weapon you're going to have her in, I assume it's something with Elemental Mastery, like Dragon's Bane, but we'll get to that in a second. She'll need crit rate again. So of course, as this is an F2P Raiden Shogun showcase and guide, she is C0. I don't even have the ability to unlock any. I didn't wish for her. But onto weapons. Right now, I have her on the Catch, which is her best F2P weapon, period, end of story. It's actually her best weapon at R5 above any other R1 5-star except Engulfing Lightning. But basically, what makes this weapon so good is that it has the energy recharge substat that she wants, and its substat is almost exactly what she wants. It increases elemental burst damage by 32%, which we all know that's her main source of damage, and it increases the elemental burst crit rate by 12%. So when I said earlier, that's why I was able to get away with having a lower crit rate, but other than the Catch, anything would really work. You could do Skyward Spine. Its damage will be lower than the Catch, but it still works. It works great. You could do Favonius Lance. It doesn't have the most energy recharge. You could do Prototype Star Glitter if you're like extra F2P and don't have any luck for anything. But the Catch is actually free. You just have to fish a lot. I did it a while ago, but I think it rounds out to something around like 5 hours of fishing in total. It took me forever looking up so many guides and so many fishing spots, the baits. It was a time. I don't recommend, but if you're trying to build her, I do recommend the Catch. So take the good with the bad. But now, as I was talking about, in that one circumstance where you want to run her on a Dendro related team, you're going to want to do something like Dragon's Bane. That will increase her elemental mastery by a lot, because again, elemental mastery is so important in Dendro teams. Of course, Primordial Jade Wing Spear is always nice, but it's not crazy for her. And as we all know, Homa is crazy for absolutely everyone, but still, I'd go with the Catch before anything else. Plus, I mean, my Hu Tao's on Homa. So now that we've covered the breakdown of her kit, her best weapons, her best artifacts, we're going to be moving into her best teams. My current team is Raiden Shogun, Kujosara, Bennett, and Kazuha, which this is known as the Raiden Hypercarry team, and I absolutely love it. I think it's easy to execute and it's so much fun to play, but she has a ton of different team options. You could do something that everyone and their mother raves about, which is the Raiden National Team. It consists of Raiden, Xingqiu, Bennett, and Xiangling. The way this order works is you do Xingqiu's burst, and then Bennett's burst, and you snapshot Xiangling's burst, and then you're on to Raiden Shogun, and it's just a million things of damage happening all at once, and everyone's getting the bonus from Bennett's buff. It's a crazy team, and of course you could sub like Xingqiu up for Yelan, or so many other things. Now, she also has many good spots as a sub DPS because of the way her E works, how it activates when she doesn't have to be on field. One of my favorite teams using Raiden Shogun, it's actually using Ayato too, is Ayato, Raiden, Bennett, and Kazuha, because if you do Bennett and you sort of like swirl him out of the mix, then it'll be the perfect Electrocharge team. It's great for AoE circumstances. I have made it through Abyss so many times just because of this team right here. And just to demonstrate, one of the teams that you may want like an Elemental Mastery Raiden for could be with Tighnari. And of course, I don't have Nahida, so we're going to pretend that Kale is Nahida. So Raiden Shogun will proc the spread, the aggravate, the everything like that, and Nahida and Tighnari will take full advantage of it. There's also this really fun team for a mono Electro that lets us use her wifey Yaimiko, and it's quite amazing. Here's one variation of it. Raiden Shogun, Kujosara, Yaimiko, and Jean. You know, Jean for the swirls, the Viridescent, and to heal. And then, of course, Yaimiko will place her totems. Kujosara will give a huge buff, especially if you have C6 Sara, which I do, thankfully, love her. And Raiden Shogun will be able to take advantage of all of that. But yeah, that's like all the nitty gritty behind her builds and stuff. I will do a couple fun little showcases real quick. I think I'm just going to do the mechanical array, and I'll show you my favorite, which is of course the Raiden Hyper Carry. And then I'll throw in a little bit of the national team as long as Xiangling doesn't die. And honestly, for funsies, because I haven't like ever really tried it, the Mono Electro team, and just see how it goes. And I don't have an elemental mastery set for her raised right now, so I do apologize. I won't be able to test that out. But Dendro has been out for a little bit, so I'm sure that you guys know how Dendro reactions work. So yeah, sit back and just vibe. I'll be back in the end to wrap things up. I would just like to kind of apologize in advance. My Yai Miko is only level 20. I threw on her the best artifacts I could find, but they're still not the best. I have nothing really raised for her, so, you know, I'll raise her in an upcoming video. Maybe. Possibly. I don't know. And Jean is also level 40, so if they die, I know why. It's my negligence to all of my characters. Let's go fight this. Alright, hey guys, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the showcase. As you can see, she does great in so many teams, and every time she was proccing for over 100k crit. The first time with the Raiden Hyper Carry, she didn't crit and it was like 57,000 or something. But normally when she does crit, it's like 180k with that team. I love it. But honestly, I was so surprised by how much the Raiden National did. I mean, I know it's really good, but I had never personally tried it out for myself. Honestly, I may have to build Xiangling. Like, she seems like she'd be great and it'd be a lot of fun. But yeah, if you made it to this far in the video, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. This is my first build guide and showcase. So if there's anything else you want to see or you think I should do or add, please let me know because I'd be happy to read your suggestions and implement them. But yeah, this is it. Thank you so much again for everything, and I will hopefully see you next time. Bye!